は新入生も授業に参加する。暗い顔見せたらいかんよ。
Hi everyone, my name is Mimi and welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to be reacting to My Hero Academia, the final season, season 8, episode 10, The Girl Who Loves Smiles. Who would that be? Eddie? I don't know. Last episode, Bakugo learned that Deku is now quirkless. The Shoto, the Todoroki family went and visited Toya, and yeah, there was this moment between Shoto and Toya that I loved, and then Toya was apologizing eternally to Shoto, which made me shed a few tears. What else happened? Aoyama is leaving the school, and then Shinzo has joined class 2A. They used to be 1A, now they're 2A, I believe. So yeah, that's what happened last episode. And before we get into this one, if you guys like my reaction, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and please consider supporting me on Patreon at patreon.com/feelymini. And now let's start this episode, and here we go.
Okay guys, in case the reaction gets blocked and I had to cut out the reaction itself, you can just look in the pinned comment in the comment section where for the link to the reaction highlight itself, so you can just click on it, watch it, and then you just come back for my review.
Aww, yeah, you.
って言われてんのに出ないんすか？
まだね、まだシャバは怖い。
No.
もうしばらく税金で飯食わせてもらうわ。
ヴィランめ。
No, nah, she's not. Oh, it's not gonna the little girl who loves smile. I mean, she was smiling there. Now that all of these scenes have been played out on screen, and they're showing everything to us. Because before, nah, Bakugo was not there until he actually showed up. Which was so cool. That one is still my favorite episode of the entire season. When he shows up. Well, not even though I loved it, like when he showed up at the end there, he woke up. But like the episode after that, when he got to do amazing stuff. Special feature. If someone had reached out, he'd send it to him. Hello, Spinner.
先の最後を伝えに来た。したいうちにでも来たのか。てめえ握手。
He's gonna tell you his final words to you.
はあ。信楽にそう言えって言われたのか。トガやダビにも、コンプレスには。君だけだった。
Because you are his true friend.
知恵を見せてくれた。あいつは俺の代弁者だったんだ。何かでかいことができるかもって。無理しなさんな。すぐ抑え。
Ah, we did it together.
大義もない考えもない感触しかない。ゲームが好きだったんだよ。あいつもやってるゲームは結構同じでさ。
我々は毅然とした態度で言わなきゃいかんですよ。
信楽の心の真ん中にはヴィラン連合がいたよ。きっと信楽も同じことを思っていたから。
もう一歩進んでいれば、俺は俺のヒーローを救えたのだろうか。
次の脅威に目を向けなければ。
ヴィラン連合も忘れて笑うんだろう。本を書く。過去は消えない。俺が信楽弔を紡ぐ。
コミックだといいな。
あ、
一生忘れない。
これからも伝言だ。タコに頑張れよ。
Oh.
確かに挿絵くらいは
Ah. Leave me with your tears.
みっともねえ姿だな、千崎。
おいしい。
だがサポートアイテムってな、加速度的に進んでるそうだ。
Ah.
好調じゃね
ごめん、おいしい。ごめん。
え。遅えよ。そのセリフは生涯エリへ向けろ。安心しろ。てめえがくたばるまで俺がずっと叱ってやるよ。
Unless you kick the bucket before him.
からは新入生も授業に参加する。暗い顔見せたらいかんよ。
系でオール・フォー・ワンとの戦いを見て、
私は体育祭から轟先輩が
Oh, me too.
一人となら話せるんだな。
廊下を走ってたぜ、廊下をよ、インチュ。昔からかっちゃん割と女性に距離を置かれてたから慣れてないのかも。
With his. Ugh.
ヤンキーがモテるのは認められん。
いいな。とっとといいね。本当に失礼。見てました。マジで勇気もらいました。自分もなんかしなきゃって本当思ったんです。いや、
また 2A 取材交渉が来てるぞ。
ノーで受けたいやつもいるんじゃないか。見えたとか。
Oh no. Definitely not him.
いや、今日はここの復旧再建だ。
君らはあっちよ。やっぱそのままなんすか。うん、気にするな。徐々に回復している。手ができた。
Aww. So he's gonna come back to normal?
俺はモテリ全部取りに行ったつも
Okay.
りだ。
Good. Aww.
いいんですか。
う
Excuse
ちの
me.
たちは今回の戦いで吹っ飛んじまった。君たちの頑張っている姿を見たら、俺たちもくよくよしてらんねって思ったんだ。
勝たそうぜ。
それはさすがに人手が足りんわ。
That were more workers?
先ほどは失礼いたしました。皆さんの事情も考慮せず。
マジですげえな一年。俺たちも先輩たちの力になりたい。
仮面どころか入学間もないですが。
飯そんなに用意してないんだけど。
なんかよ。
I wonder what's going through his mind.
お茶子ちゃん。
And through her.
前向きになってるようでよかったなって。
I feel like these two have been changed with from their interactions with Shigaraki and I'm not forgetting my girl's name. With the needle?
かされたんですか？お茶子ちゃん、既読がつかないの。
Not checking her text? What does that mean?
もう街並みが元通りだ。少しずつだけど前向きになってるよう。
Oh, is she the girl that loves to smile? Who smiles? Oh, I think, yeah, it is her.
私はみんなが笑ってるのが好き。
No, she's crying.
水を差したくない。お茶子ちゃんはヒーローらしく正しいことをするだけでよかったのに。ヒーローを目指したのに。私は卑弥呼ちゃんの命の上に生かされた。
うららかさん。ワン・フォー・オールで飛んできた。ここは大切な話をした場所だから。でもここにいると思ったんだ。
なんで見られたくないのに。
で、うららくさんはいつもそうじゃないか。合否のポイントのことだって。
私のポイントを分けるってできませんか？
ずっといつも。
ヒーローアカデミアでいさせてください。
いつも自分のことより人を優先してずっと助けられっぱなしだ。僕のヒーローだ。手を握るだけで心が和らぐんだよ。
君子ちゃん、私のせいで死んじゃった。土日を分けられる個性だったの。あんな形でなくても、もっと子供の時に会えてたら違ったかな。
天候信楽戸村に同じこと引きずってる。ワンにも言われたよ。お前のしようとしている道は茨の道だって。手を差し伸ばしていけばきっと必ず。
うららかさん、言ってくれるの待ってたのよ。何でも思ったら言っていいのよ。ありがとう、つえちゃん。
ぶっ飛ばしてたけど残り火大丈夫か。残り火って
言ってくんねえんだよ、そんな大事なことを。その通りだぞ緑谷君。どういうことなんだ。
Ah,
今度はみんなで紡げていけたら。そう、みんなで紡げていけたら。なんで僕だけ。
who was that? I was just hearing my feels, just like letting the outro play out. I was not expecting an after credit scene. And I keep trying to figure out who that is. When I saw the purple, what's it like purple smoke or whatever, coming out from his fingers, and my first thought went to Shigaraki. But we know Shigaraki's dead, so it can be him. And then I was looking at the house. I'm like, wait, is that the house where Shigaraki used to live, or is this like a completely different house? Who is this? Is this someone I'm supposed to know? Or is this like a completely new character that's sort of like, you know, villains are always gonna exist in society, I guess, in real life and in their world. Villains are always gonna exist, so there's always gonna be like that one villain that's like people need to gang up against, you know. Is he supposed to be sort of like a future? Is he gonna this like the birth of a new villain or something or other that the heroes are gonna have to contend with, or is this someone that I've already seen but I just don't remember having seen? Like, I don't know. I was wondering when I read the title of the episode, the girl who loves smiles, who they were referring to. My first thought was to Eddie. You know, I said it just because it wasn't. Oh, I think it's because we've seen her like be cry so much and be sad, and it was like she would love people to smile or something. I don't know, but that's where my mind first went. And then somewhere in the episode, they showed Nagon also as well, who apparently has been sort of like pardoned and is free to go, but she's refusing to leave. At least for now. And then he wanted up being Uraraka, because you're seeing basically sort of like the world move on, things going back to sort of like semi-normal, I guess. And she's there with you keep hearing that heartbeat when it comes to Deku and then when it comes to her as well. So you know they have been marked by what has happened, I guess. Both of them in different ways. Deku with Shigaraki and Uraraka with Toga. And because she's someone that loves to see other people smile, she just can't bring herself to break down, I guess, in front of everybody else and bring their uh, mood down, I guess. And so that's why she's leaving to go back to her parents. That's what she said. But clearly that's not the truth because she wanted out where her and Deku had that conversation, and Deku figured that that's where she would be. And she's been feeling so much guilt because she felt like it's because of her that Toga died, and that would things have changed had they met when she was a little girl. You know, with her quirk being able to donate blood to people, she could have become such a different person. But because of the environment that she was in, the way she was treated, yeah, I think it's a lesson that this show is trying to impart on everyone. Like, yes, some people are born just evil. Like, nothing you can do to change that. But then there are some that take a villainous path because of something in particular, and had they had the proper support, the proper person reaching out to them during those vulnerable moments, their paths could have diverged in such a different way. And I think the show's trying to teach us that, you know, like when it came to Toga, and with her ability, yes, she drinks blood, but with her ability to also give blood, that would have been such a life-giving gift to the world. But it wasn't. And with Spinner, for example, with him being in a heteromorph, I guess, where people not shunning him like that, where people accepting of him, he wouldn't have gone down the path that he did. With Shigaraki, has someone reached out his hand to him? So with all that guilt, Uraraka just was not. She didn't want everyone to see her break down, and that's why she went there, and Deku followed her, and he's just been they were showing us, and he's telling us all the things that she has been doing for them and for him, always pushing him and supporting him, and um and he tells her that she's his hero, and that it's okay for her to let her feelings out. And that's when she broke down and she just told him everything that was on her heart. and the others showed up. And then Deku, because he had used One For All to get to him, to her, Bakugo asked him if the ember was still there, and he's like, yes. It had diminished, but it was still there. And that's when the others heard. And they're like, wait, what's going on? And because they didn't know. Wait, yeah, they didn't know. So he's gonna have to tell them like what's going on with them. And I was crying so much. And then the very next scene, you see, is it Minami? Was that his name? With his laughter? I don't know. It was out of nowhere. And then they were having the farewell party for Aoyama, and then Eri singing, which is something that she's been wanting to do with them. So she's trying to do that. Deku visited Spinner, told him Shigaraki's last words to him, and Spinner, of course, is angry that Shigaraki is dead. Then he was telling Deku that they're probably gonna forget about Shigaraki, right? Because while they were having the discussion, they were switching between Deku and Spinner's discussion with this show that was happening on TV where they were talking about Shigaraki and who he was, and from all the commentaries that they were showing before, they were just painting him as this villain, and yes, in front of the whole world, he was a villain. You know, he killed a whole bunch of people, he destroyed a whole lot of stuff, and there was this old woman, I think it was a woman, that sort of like was like, you know, said something along the lines of, "Would things have been different had someone reached out to him," or something or other like that. I don't quite remember exactly what she said, but I think that was the sentiment behind what she said. She was the only one that said that, but then everybody else is like, you know, crucifying him and all of that. And then Deku and Spinner were there talking about him, and Spinner is like, he was his hero. That there was a moment in there that he said that had he basically sort of like pushed a little more and reached out a little more to Shigaraki, could he have saved his hero? So it's like there's something in each one of us that can push us, I guess, to be somebody else's hero. I guess like there's a hero in each and every one of us. So it's up to us to decide, I guess, who we want to be. Do you want to be a villain? Do you want to be a hero? You know, I don't know, but he said he was gonna write a book because he was not gonna let anyone forget Shigaraki, and Deku was like, no, we're not gonna forget him, and Deku was definitely not gonna forget him, and yeah, he left. And then they showed Chisaki. His boss showed up there and was basically scolding him and telling him that he needed to he said that Eri was gonna forget him sooner or later, but he should never forget what he did to Eri, and that he was gonna come and basically scold him until his dying breath, I guess. and Chisaki was crying. So I guess that's the. I don't remember exactly because I feel like at one point Chisaki showed. I don't remember. I don't remember. Let me just not speculate. I think I can vaguely see him somewhere, and then him and Deku. I guess Deku probably made him some kind of promise that I'm not remembering right now. And that's that promise that he has been fulfilled here with the boss showing up where Chisaki is. I just don't remember exactly what happened. But I think that something like that happened where there was some kind of accord between those two. I don't remember. So the boss showed up and they had this moment and Chisaki was crying. And he's in prison. And whatnot. It's the new class 1A showing up and running after Shoto and Bakugo, saying that they were their idol or whatever. And then that one student that was like telling Deku that he's his idol and that seeing him has made him want to do more. I guess that was nice. And Mineta and Kaminari were there fuming because they're like, what would the girls be to like go after Bakugo and not them or something like that. I'm like, yo. I love that one of the girls was saying that Shoto became her idol, I guess, during the sports festival because the sports festival was like it was awesome. Okay, that was one of the amazing what's the word I want to use? Sort of like a milestone, like one of the great milestones of this show. You know, the sports festival and Shoto and Deku's fight, that final fight and all that. So I can understand why this girl be like ever since the festival, like my eyes have been on you, you know. And then when it comes to Bakugo, I mean he was facing One For All, so it's like yeah, people's eyes are gonna be on him. So yeah, it was awesome. Just seeing them in the classroom setting with the new students, like fawning over them and all of that. I loved it. I felt like I was pretty okay during this whole episode. Like my heart was touched a little when Spinner said that he could have saved his hero. I was on the verge of crying, but then toward the end there with Uraraka and everybody else, it's like tears like falling all over the place. Thank you guys for watching, and if you like this reaction, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and if you want to see my reaction to the next episode, which I believe is going to be the final episode, right? Wow. The link is going to be in the pinned comments. You can just click on it and you can watch it early, and you can also catch up before my previous My Hero Academia reactions. There's a playlist in the comment as well. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. Calm before the storm, it's me they all are coming for. Be my shadow born.